Can you briefly explain to the layman on the street who is Allah?
I think that's the easiest question, which we could put, could be answered this way. To begin with, if you get the English Bible and you translate it into Arabic, everywhere where it is written God, it will be translated Allah. Okay. If you take it into Arabic. So basically, Allah is the same God that the Christians worship, but with this emphasis that the Muslims say when Jesus worshipped, he worshipped to a God. That God is Allah. When Jesus was resurrected, the God that resurrected Jesus is Allah. And if you also remember on the cross, according to the Bible, Jesus was saying, Allah, Allah lama sabakatani. In our pronunciation, that would have been Allah, Allah lama sabakatani. So it's the same God, the Almighty God, the Creator, who I think in Chivambo you call Kalunga, but in Arabic we call him Allah.
In Arabic you call it Allah.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at it in terms of him being compassionate, merciful, kind, loving, and wise creator, talk to us about that. I mean, where can you draw some examples from the Quran where this is in fact exemplified?
To begin with, the Quran has got 114 chapters. And 113 of these chapters all begin in the name of Allah, most merciful, most compassionate. And goes on to talk about the mercy of Allah, apart from one chapter, which is the chapter on repentance, where God is reprimanding man. It doesn't begin like that because the message is a little bit tougher. If you don't do this on the judgment day, I'm going to punish you according to this. But all the chapters in the Quran, they begin reminding us of the mercies of Allah, like the abundance of the food he has created, the senses that he has given us, and how we need to use that, and how it keeps on telling us, be kind towards each other. For example, Quran chapter 4, verse 19 says, do not exceed limits, but follow what your Lord has asked you to follow. Then we've got like chapter 2, verse 256, that talk about not forcing people into believing what you believe in. And we've got chapters in the Quran, again, which tell us when you invite people to your religion, to Islam, use proof and reason with the people in the most kind way so that they understand you. And always bear in mind that those that do not understand your religion may have it difficult to understand, so be merciful towards them.
Be merciful towards them. Looking at this, I mean, and particularly the issue around being merciful and compassionate, and the fact that it comes up so much in the Quran, one tends to question some of the motives when you see some of the terrorists, whether it's in Africa or wherever it might be, whether it's for Christianity or Islam, but always claim to be killing in the name of either God or Allah. Talk to us about that.
So basically, we need to understand, because I know, and I've faced this from my friends who say, you Muslims, you are terrorists, you are rough. To begin with, you will see that if we go into the history of Islam, even the descendants of the Prophet Muhammad were killed, murdered, massacred by people who claimed to be Muslims. And the Prophet did warn us that actually there will be a lot of people who look like Muslims, dress like Muslims, speak like Muslims, and yet there will be hypocrites. And they'll cause a lot of massacre in the name of Islam when actually they are not Muslims. And so what we see today is that trend is being fulfilled. A lot of people who come, look like Muslims, speak, and actually commit a lot of atrocities in the name of Islam, when actually they do not follow the teachings of Islam at all. So Islam condemns terrorism. It condemns anybody, like I said, anyone who goes beyond limits. It's not accepted. Now, sometimes the problem that is there is that we've got people who are doing political struggles, and because they are in Islamic clans, people conclude they are Muslims. When those are actually political, they have nothing, and they've not been sanctioned by Islam at all. For example, Boko Haram is not an Islamic group, is more like a political group, but people take it to believe that it is doing what it is doing because they are Muslims. We don't agree with their methods and the things that they do, and there is no Muslim cleric actually that has sanctioned that. If you look at that, we do not all accept what they are doing.